This is a short video about an interesting tangent from my interest in reel-to-reel tape recorders. I've bought 3 of these things now, and they're quite interesting to work on and fix up, especially one like this, which is all valve technology. Although you must never run a machine like this if you don't know what you're doing, because there is lots of nasty voltages in here. I mean, the base of this valve runs at 300 volts DC, but there's surprising things like, I don't know if you can see those little contacts there, but that's the actual main switch. So if you're switching the mains on or adjusting it, it's quite easy to run your finger over the end of the main switch and get a proper shock if you're in any way earthed. So not to be recommended. But anyway, that aside, i.e. don't run the machines like this. By the way, the reason I've got it like this is because I'm working out at the moment, which is why, as I've been working on it, I've actually been paying more attention to what's actually on these old tapes. And I've become particularly fascinated by this one, because although it's only slightly older than I am in terms of a recording, it does seem like worlds and worlds away. Which in a way it is, because this has come from Hong Kong, I believe, this recording, and I think it's mid-60s, and you'll see why when it kicks in. So anyway, let's switch this on. Okay, so it's a thermonic device, so you've got to wait for the valves to warm up. That's just a display device. I mean, you can see the heater in the back, that's the red bit. But anyway, this particular tape starts off with some kids singing a song, which seems to me really dark. I've never heard this nursery rhyme before, but it talks about a duck or a goose having a broken neck.
But I think it's from Mr. Fox. He took the grey goose by the neck and swung him right across his back. The grey goose cried out, quack, 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 with his legs dangling down. The grey goose cried
and it goes on to describe how the foxes, or the young cub foxes, eat the goose and spit the bones out. And yeah, it's very different to children's entertainment today. Anyway, on to the next bit of this tape. Right, so anyway, this tape, as far as I'm aware, comes from Hong Kong, and it's amazing how Hong Kong sounds more English than England. And I don't know if you quite heard that, but it sounds like that the sports results that they had on the radio actually included sports results from a girls' school. Whatever the sport was, I don't know, but not exactly Premiership, is it?
First, racing. Come in, Ron Whitehead.
Punters generally had a fair day at Happy Valley this afternoon for the second day of the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club's 4th meeting of the current season, as 4 favourites romped home and also a well-backed second favourite. However, the remaining 3 events were won by ponies which each paid close to $40.
So it's all rather serious, as you can tell. When you listen to the tape, it sounds like it's a very early morning recording. I think it says something about quarter to 8. Oh, and this is some sort of fitness exercise radio presentation, again with a very serious, posh sounding lady.
And up and down and up, down and leg up and down.
What I think is potentially interesting about this as well is it's also been recorded off the radio, and I'm assuming this is AM radio, and the quality is very good. There's very little background interference. Well, that was because back in the day there was just less electromagnetic radiation kicking about, other frequencies that just made the audio quality clearer. But anyway, on with the tape.
Are you ready? Bend your knees up. Straighten your legs.
So it sounds very much like you're waking up to this radio broadcast. So you're expected to wake up, do your exercises, and then I assume listen to some nice casual music as you're making your breakfast. That's what it sounds like.
Down one more. Up and down. Well, that's all for today. Goodbye.
The time now is 22 minutes to 8, and after all that exercise, I'll just remind you that the weather report, the first weather report of the morning, is at 7:45 in just 7 minutes. Until then, more morning music.
I suppose an interesting question would be just how this tape made its way from Hong Kong in the first place, and why it was never recorded over.
Time is 7:45. Here is the weather report. General situation for shipping. Pressure is high over North and Central China. A weak trough over South China is moving southwards. The local area forecast for today: light or moderate easterly winds, cloudy with fair periods. Winds becoming northerly this evening, bringing overcast weather and light rain.
Again, she sounds really, really English, I suppose is the word. There's no like local flavour to the sound, it would appears to me anyway.
There'll be another weather report at 1 minute to 8, followed by the first news bulletin of the morning at 8 o'clock. So until then, let's listen to some more music.
So basically, you've got the weather report there, which is very, very basic. Obviously, a little bit of shipping information, which would have been quite important back in the day. But after that, a very brief weather forecast of the local area, which I'm assuming by that they mean the island, and then going on to essentially another 15 minutes of music, which is sort of like very easy listening jazz sort of music almost. Anyway, move on to the news report, because the news report is perhaps the most interesting part of this tape.
And the relative humidity 92%. In just a few seconds' time, you'll have a time signal for 8 o'clock, followed by the news from Radio Hong Kong. The time is 8 o'clock.
This is Radio Hong Kong. Here is the news read by Peter Rogers. The United States has sent a chimpanzee into 2 orbits round the Earth and brought him safely back from outer space. The chimpanzee was to have made 3 circuits, but scientists decided to bring him back 80 minutes before schedule because of rocket trouble. The flight was to prepare for America's first manned orbital flight, expected within the next few weeks. The chimpanzee, named Enos, performed his tasks perfectly, strapped into a capsule launched from the top of an Atlas rocket. Latest reports say Enos was in good condition when his capsule landed in the ocean, about 500 miles southeast of Bermuda, after his 3-hour flight. The official announcement says Enos will be taken to Bermuda and given a thorough physical examination. Adolf Berner received a 15-year detention sentence, and his wife Hermine one of 7 years.
And that is that. And I think that's a very fascinating little dip into history, which I completely found by accident. And I don't know, I'm assuming that might only be the only ever recording of that announcement, certainly as relayed on Radio Hong Kong, but even not, it's, why has that recording lasted all those years, never been wiped over, just sat there, recording locked within the little magnetic particles on the tape. But anyway, there we go.